Hey guys, Justin here from Creative Writing Lessons, and in this video I'm going to be going over some tips and tricks to writing a successful story for beginners. Okay, and yeah, look at that shirt. Anyway, sorry. So we'll be getting to this video shortly, so just give me some time. I'm gonna get myself a drink. So guys, get your papers, get your notebooks, get your pens, get whatever you need to get ready to take some notes, because we're gonna be rocking out today. And here we go. Best action slash sci-fi screenplay. I feel like doing flashbacks, but I love cliffhangers. In all my stories I write, there's always going to be a twist in it. Very
Please don't
focused on what's going on. Contest winner and a best horror. So it was pretty cool. It was Best action slash sci-fi screenplay. I feel like doing flashbacks, but I love cliffhangers. In all my stories I write, there's always going to be a twist in it. Very
Please don't
focused on what's going on. Contest winner and a best horror. So it was pretty cool. It was Best action slash sci-fi screenplay. I feel like doing flashbacks, but I love cliffhangers. In all my stories I write, there's always going to be a twist in it. Very
Please don't
focused on what's going on. Contest winner and a best horror. So it was pretty cool. It was Best action slash sci-fi screenplay. I feel like doing flashbacks, but I love cliffhangers. In all my stories I write, there's always going to be a twist in it. Very
Please don't
focused on what's going on. Contest winner and a best horror. So it was pretty cool. It was Best action slash sci-fi screenplay. I feel like doing flashbacks, but I love cliffhangers. In all my stories I write, there's always going to be a twist in it. Very
Please don't
Thank you. Sorry. So, hope you guys got your pens, papers, notebooks, whatever else you guys need. We are going to go into some tips and tricks to writing a successful story for beginners, whether that's editing, whether that is going to be point of view, whether that becomes pretty much anything that you, whatever questions you have, whatever you want to ask. So if you guys have a question, shoot it down in the comments so I can get to it. I am Justin Vandermark. I am a creative writing major graduate from UC Riverside. 2015, I've been writing scripts. I've been writing short stories. I've won some awards and stuff, which I'll be showing later on here. I won sci-fi, and then I won a horror short script contest, first place. I've written a couple kids' books, which are on Amazon, and writing is just my passion. It's what I do, and it's one of the things that I will never stop doing. So if you guys have questions, again, write it down here in the comments. I'd love to see what you have, what you want to know, and I am going to answer it. First things first. Every Tuesday, Thursday, I do have a YouTube video posted at noon Pacific time if you guys wanted to learn anything. Right now, it's all about literary devices. So if you don't know what a literary device is, it's something to help tell your story in a better, in an artistic, creative way. Okay, so with that being said, one of the things that I just posted was, what is a point of view? Point of view is one of the most important things when you're writing a novel, because you need to know how you're telling the story. Okay, so let's say you are doing a point of view in first person. Well, first person, you get into the character's head, you know what they're thinking, how they're feeling, any thought that they have, you can hear it by reading it. You know, whether that is italicized or whatever, you know what they're thinking, right? Because it's first person. Second person is you. You are the actual character of the book, of the novel, of the short story, whatever style of writing you like, and that gives you the sense of you have more at stake. You feel like you have a stake in the story because it's like you slowly creep down the hall, looking left, looking right. You hear a noise scatter behind you. You turn around, nothing's there. And then a creature jumps down from above, you know, like something like that, right? So then you're kind of like, oh shit, what am I doing? Oh my god, I'm doing this, you know, so it builds the suspense in a different way than a first person would, because now you are the actual person, you are the narrator of the story, or not the narrator, but the narrator's talking to you specifically, kind of recounting your steps of what you did throughout the story. Then there's third person point of view. There's three different types. I always forget how to say the first one. So omniscient, right? Third person omniscient. I don't know. I know how to spell it though, but I can't say it. But that one is like all knowing third person. So you know what every character thinks, you know what's in their head, how they feel, you know everything. So the narrator is not part of the story, right? They're like sitting far away and they're, oh, okay, so that's how he feels, this is what he's thinking, these are his motives. Okay, that's what, etc., etc. So that's the first one. The next point of view for is third person would be limited, and I say limited because think of Harry Potter, right? So when you're reading Harry Potter, it's limited in third person because all we know is how Harry feels, how Harry Potter thinks, and how he acts. The only reason why we know what's in other people's heads is because J.K. Rowling made it where where by their actions, by what they say, how they're, you know, like Ron. Everybody knows how Ron feels because he's like, oh, guys. So you already know, like, oh, okay, he's a big scaredy cat. He's scared. He says what he thinks because he's terrified. Hermione is the same way. She's a genius, brilliant because of the way she speaks and, like, talks like this in the Sorcerer's Stone, like she's better than Ron and Harry from the first movie, like, so it's limited because we only know Harry Potter, how he feels, how he thinks, and how he sees everyone else acting around him. And then there's objective third person point of view. You're kind of like standing far back, so you're away from everything else, right? So the narrator is just recounting what's going on. It's telling you, okay, so let's use Harry Potter as if we didn't know what's in his head. It's like, oh, Harry Potter is tears are dripping down on a dirty concrete floor, and in the dirt on the concrete floor is a birthday cake. So in that birthday cake, it's shaped like he blows out, wipes the thing away, you know, and he's just looking down. Like, so you don't know in his head, but you by the narrator saying how he looks, his actions, you know, they're like, oh, okay, so it's his birthday and he's sad and you know, nothing's really happening. So, okay. So that's a different third person because we're not in his head. We're just seeing it. And that's what objective is. They're not taking any stance. They're not being, oh, let's do about Harry Potter and how he feels only. This is where, oh, okay, well, you're going to have Harry, Ron, Hermione, Voldemort, Malfoy, and you have all these characters, but you're not in their head. You only know what they're saying and how they're acting and their facial expressions and body language and stuff. That's all you see. So it's a different way to tell a story, you know, because you can't be biased. You know, obviously when you read Harry Potter, you're rooted for Harry the whole time because it's in his head. It's his point of view. It's the narrator, the third person narration that's limited is limited to Harry only, and that's all you get to see. So it's really cool, right? So that's how you can do if you have a main character that you want someone to relate to. You want someone to be like, okay, let's focus on this character. Let's focus on them. So that's a literary device. It's point of view. It's one of many literary devices that you can use in script writing, novels, short stories, any book, any writing. Okay, so again, guys, if you have any questions, put it in the chat down there. I'm here to help talk about anything. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump into what do I want to jump into, guys? I had a list of stuff. Look what I bought. Okay. Anyways, there we go. So these are some of the questions that I had people ask me about, whether they commented, whether they sent me an email, because you guys can see, I don't have it attached here, but down below you guys can always get a free exposition worksheet from me. That is kind of like your back character, right? It's their backup story. It's the story of everything that leads up to the moment the story started, right? Exposition is the setting, why the setting's there, why is the story starting now, what happened that led up to this moment, whether you fill it in with flashbacks later on in the story or somebody talks about it and brings it up naturally, right? We don't want to just throw out exposition and story just to get it out there. You have to make it sound natural when you're going forward like that. All right, so one of the things that people have asked me is that your story changing. Okay, so this person says, what if I start writing the story and it starts to change? So, yeah, we'll use that question first. So, my thing is that a story is ever changing. It's ever evolving, because that's what a story does. You might have an idea of what you want in the story, but when you start writing it, you already know it takes a life of its own, right? It starts to evolve into something different. You can ask anybody this. My mom, she writes stories all the time too, and her book too. It takes a different change, Changing the point of view can change the entire story too. My mom wrote a story in third person point of view. It was great. But when she converted to first person, at least for me, I feel like I attached to the story better, because now I'm rooting for her more than being lost and confused and in this like ping pong kind of thing. I feel like going forward with the story is that I connected to her first person better than her third person. I believe it was limited. I think you only saw her point of view. So this first person kind of made it more, I was invested more, because I'm just like, oh man, like that's what she's thinking. Oh my God, that's what she's feeling. Oh my God, that's what this guy's doing. This is what she's doing. Oh my God, this creature come out of nowhere, So your story will ever change and ever evolve with every edit you do, right? You're not going to write a story and be like, okay, cool, I'm done. I finished it. This is great. This is the best story I've written ever. No, that's just the first draft. You got to do the next draft, right? So when you're going forward with more elements, right? Because I always have, it's over there. I have a little notebook with me, what I carry with me in case I come up with notes. In my backpack, I have 2 notebooks, like the legal size paper, legal-ish paper. And I keep those with me at all times because I want to make sure that I'm always ready for ideas. I don't want to lose any idea, especially for my story. So going to the one I won, this will tie into how the story changes. My first story I wrote was called Redder, Redder. It is that's a Dutch word for savior, but was that savior? I think it's savior. But that's kind of like going forward is the story started off where he was just trying to avenge his sister that was killed. So he's going on this thing where he lands on Earth and he can't breathe, so he's like, take a pill, and then the pill, he holds a pill, the pill absorbs the oxygen, he eats it, or whatever's in the air, he eats it, and he can start breathing that atmosphere. So the way my story changed was that I originally had it where he landed and he had to wear a mask the whole time. And then I was like, I wrote it in 2020, so I was like, okay, well maybe I can link in like, this character, the bad guy, released the coronavirus, so everybody has to wear a mask, so this person can have a mask on at all times to hide their identity and to breathe the oxygen the whole entire time. And for me, I was like, this is the best idea in the world, man. Like, come on. Like, I'm putting in what is relevant, what's happening now in 2020, giving it a reason of like, I can kind of loop this in a little bit by making it about, coronavirus was released because this serial killer from another galaxy hopped to our Earth, hid here, released this so they can blend in with the world. And then by the time they get there, it's kind of like, oh man, how are we How are we gonna find this? What are we gonna do? And then you can go forward that way, right? So with that being said, the story went from that to, oh, you find out that the character was not really the serial killer. They were set up, and the real serial killer is on Earth, and this person knew because they have help from somebody else that's hidden there. That's like in the government, right? Because he's in the like Federal Bureau, or Galaxy Bureau, right? He's a police officer. He's a federal agent like that in the galaxy, right? So he maintains all the galaxies. So going forward, the story went from, okay, your story's okay, but there's too many flaws, this, right? I always get feedback on my story, so it's this. So I was like, okay, how do I get more people invested? I was like, you know what? One of the first things you should do before you even write a story is think of, what's the log line? Because if you can't come up with a log line or a synopsis, you cannot write the story, because then you have no purpose, there's no point, there's nothing really there for you. You can write the scene down. I write down the scene all the time. Anytime I get an idea, I'll write the scene down. I'll get a piece of paper and just like, okay, write the scene. Okay, boom, I got 2 paragraphs of the scene I want. But now I'm like, okay, so then what's the point of this? Like, why would somebody want to come and read or watch or any of this stuff, right? So then you want to figure that out, like, what can I do? How can this go forward? So then you got to figure that stuff out too. And the way my story ended up evolving and changing and taking a life of its own, I said, okay, I need to start not from scratch, but I need to get rid of my, like, okay, it's not a sister. What is more relatable for people? Okay, you know, everybody sees wife and kid. So I made it where his wife and kid was killed. And they always try and they found the killer. The killer was arrested. So I had some flashbacks in there to show they captured the killer. The killer came in. He's just like raging. He's pissed, but he's just holding it in because, okay, he's arrested. You know, then I gave backstory. Oh, he's this war hero that everyone loves. He's honorable, and people trust him because he's honorable. People were like, hey, I want to hire you. But he didn't want to go anywhere unless they had true values and they did the right thing. If they didn't do the right thing, he would not do it. There was one company that he decided to go to because they helped him catch the killer, and nobody trusted them, but he only went there because they found the killer of his family. So that was new. All that I just made up. Before, I was like, I don't know what I wanted. All I knew was I wanted him almost like a Terminator start, right? He's standing there, not naked though, right? He has clothes on. Lightning striking around. He stands up in this mist, lightning all around him. And then he comes there and he's like, starts fucking suffocating instantly. Like, oh, damn, man, he looked badass. And then he starts dying. You're like, what the fuck? So what's cool about that is that it started off, that was the main idea I got. I had a dream of like, oh, this guy's standing up. You know, he's in a world like, he doesn't know what world he's in. He boop, 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 opens his watch. The watch is an AI that talks to him like a Cortana, right? Like a little figure of a girl that pops up. It's like, where am I? You're on Earth. Or you're on Terra, da-da-da-da, which is known as Earth. The air is contained of oxygen, carbon monoxide, and other elements. And then, like, on the side of her will be, like, a list of, like, different things of elements that's in the air. And then he's, like, couldn't breathe. So it was like a dream. And then I was like, I like it. I'm going to write it, right? Logline. This guy, first it was a sister. So I was like, oh, this intergalactic policing officer captain is on the hunt for an escaped serial killer that murdered his family, but he has to break the rules, and now he's being chased by his own policing bureau and the law enforcement on Earth after making deadly mistakes or whatever, you know. So then now the stakes are high because now he has the law enforcement on Earth looking for him. Now he has his own policing bureau with all these high-tech gadgets after him, and he's trying to find someone to kill his sister. But now the story completely changed to his wife and kid were killed. He now watches like little hologram videos of them from beforehand on his watch, and you get more in depth of this character. You know, he has a scar on his face. I think I put his left eye, raggedy face. You know, like he hasn't shaved it forever, so he's all just come out looking all like, all right, let's do this. Where's Rachel? But no. So the story changed. The bad guys went from his policing bureau helping him to like, now I'm like, no, I want the stakes higher. Now they're after him. His best friend is after him, and he has to make a decision whether he has to shoot his best friend and find the killer, or be captured. Is like how I had like the first episode, the pilot end, and then but then it changed. Now it's like, oh, instead of that, his friend shoots him instead. Now he's there bleeding to death, and then the person that was supposed to be the serial killer that was wrongly accused saves him, portals him out of there, and now he's fine. Or not fine, but now they have to patch him up and they gotta lay on low. But now, so it evolved. Every story evolves, and that's the whole thing. Sorry, let me go back to the question. The question was, what do you, or how can you handle your story changing? So that's how you handle it. You just let it go where the story's gonna go. Don't control it, right? Control it afterwards. Write the story the way it is, and then later on you can edit it, have people read it, right? Like that's one thing I want to do. I want to form a group. I have a Discord if you guys want to join it, where you guys can hop in there and we can start learning there. We can start talking. People can put their own writing stuff on there, send me stuff. I can help you guys. You guys can read my stuff. We can help each other. We can help build a community of us trying to help each other. Whether you're an artist, if you're an artist, hop on through. If you're an artist, man, I need people to make my book, to draw up my book, and I need help all the time. I need someone to do comic characters for me. Trust me, come on over. Let's start this community. Hop in the Discord. Let's do this, right? But again, don't have that iron fist, right? Don't have that iron grip on your story. You just if you guys seen Loki, right, with all those bands of timelines, like don't keep it like this. Just release it. Have it bigger. Let more ideas flow. Let it consume its own story. Let it take its own path. Don't control it, because your characters are forming, your ideas are forming, and because of that, you can just let it all flow and let it consume and let it go wherever it needs to go without you controlling it, without you holding it and controlling every aspect of the story. No, you do. That's what editing's for. Editing's for is to smooth things out. Right now, just write the story. And if it doesn't make sense later on, like my story with the killer and with the sister and then kind of making it weird, it didn't work. But the reason why I found out was because I entered into the film festival. I got the critique back on it, and they gave me good criticism, shitting on me, right? We take that personal when we give them something that we took our time, passion, sweat, tears, and blood into the story. We give it to them. They're like, "Dad, what the hell is this? This is horrible." And you're just like, "Oh, fuck." Besides the point, it does hurt, but we got to go with it. We need to take other people's, especially professionals. If a professional comes at you, don't defend it. It's your story. You can do whatever you want with the story. Don't ever let anybody tell you can't do something for a story, right? Don't ever let anybody tell you that. It's your story. Write it the way you want to. But don't ever get pissed off at constructive criticism. If someone's just being rude and mean and is horrible to you, don't take that either. But if they're actually giving you constructive criticism, you need to take that. You need to listen and be like, okay, why are they telling me this? What don't I understand about this? Oh, okay. So I see what they're trying to say here. Oh, I see what they're trying to. You know what? That's a great idea. You know what? I might not use that exact idea, but maybe I can change it in a way that suits you and makes you feel like it came from your heart. Sorry, guys. Ginger ale. Upset stomach lately. But yeah. So when it comes to constructive criticism, like, I tell people all the time and to help them, but people get mad at me, and I'm just like, I'm not doing it to hurt your feelings, right? Like I tell my mom all the time with her story, I'm like, I just can't latch to the story because it's not believable. And her and I go back and forth on it. But again, it's her story. So I tell her, let's move on from it. It's your story. If you want to keep it, you can keep it. For me, it's not believable. And for her, maybe it is, Maybe I told her, like, don't make this scene so intense, right? Like, this girl's almost raped and all this stuff. And then she goes to the beach and falls in love. Like, that's a real fast-paced, like emotion roller coaster. Like, how I feel like it's too much too fast. But again, maybe for her story it is. But it's constructive criticism, and you got to take it, right, with a grain of salt. Just, you can't let it hurt you. You got to understand people are trying to help you build a better story. And if you just go at them and get pissed off because you're like, whatever, this is not good, this is not right, I don't like this, like, you're not going to go anywhere. So what you want to do is you want to focus in, lock in, and be like, okay, thank you for that. May I ask you why you're saying this, so you can get a better feel for it? Because if someone just says it and you're just like, oh, okay, well, you want to get answers for it. You want to be like, well, what exactly do you mean when you say she was almost raped and then she is rescued to go to the beach and she falls in love with her rescuer? Like, okay, that's doable, but like from going from a super dramatic event to like going on a carriage, having a good time, like, huh? For me, it's maybe because I'm a script writer and I want something more believable than like a Twilight book where weird stuff could happen. It's like, you know what I mean? Like maybe I just don't fully understand it, which I don't, right? I don't fully understand it, but at the same time, maybe she wants it to be show exactly how safe she feels with that other character, where maybe she's not fully in love, which I won't tell you the stuff that happens, but like she feels safe and protected. Maybe that's why she doesn't think about what just happened, right? But then all the stuff that she built in there kind of made it where I'm like, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like you're just like, I don't know if it's believable on my point, like. But again, like I said, I'm doing it because I want her to have the best freaking story out there. I want her book to be #1 bestseller, sci-fi, young adult, romantic, not love triangle, supernatural stuff, right? I want that book to be the best because whenever I read people's stuff, I want them to succeed. I go blow up, be bigger than me. I don't care. I want to support and grow and help people achieve their goals and dreams. And if you want to write a story, hey, come watch my videos, come talk to me, email me. I'm available. I work in a mental hospital 3 days a week, so like the other times I still need time to cool down after an intense work week. But I mean, hey, send me stuff. I'm always here, and I want everyone to succeed in life and succeed in their dream and writing, especially with writing, man. I went to school for this. So when it comes down to what I say, I try to take it as I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be. I just want you guys to understand that what I'm saying is because I feel like is not realistic and believable. But then in a story that's supernatural, hey, maybe not. Maybe it doesn't have to be. You never know, right? You don't know. So on that aspect of your stories change. You can edit it anytime. Don't feel bad about it. Be true to who you are, who the character is. Because if the character, who your character is, the story's gonna take a life of its own. It's just gonna continue going and going and going and going, and you're gonna be solid. You're gonna be fantastic. For constructive criticism, take it with a grain of salt. Don't let it hurt you too much. Obviously, you put so much time and love and sadness, tears, and everything into it, which I get it. But at the same time, just realize that they're giving these ideas, they're giving you this criticism to help you write a better story. And I have a hard time too, but I think after so many times, it doesn't get super easier, but it gets a little easier. We're like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. Like I get it. It sucks because I thought it was a good story, but maybe I got to change this and that and et cetera, et cetera. All right, so the next question that I had somebody here. Sorry, I have a list of them here. What if no one connects with my story? So, if nobody connects with the story, I always say you're pushing it out to the wrong audience, right? Because every story written, there's always going to be somebody out there for your story, even if it's just for you, right? But if you are trying to find somebody who connects with your story, you got to look at one, are you targeting the right audience for your book? Like my books won't be understood by my mom. Her books, her little young adult, like Twilight stuff, I'm not really into those books. I'm not going to read it. So if I try to give her, hey, mom, I got this supernatural, like, let's say the TV show, right? Hey, mom, I got these two brothers that go around, kill witches, kill ghosts, pop, 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 like without knowing supernatural yet, and all you hear is that, you're like, that's not really for me. And she's like, oh yeah, it's about a vampire, this girl falls in love with a vampire and a werewolf, and I'm just like, what? I don't want to read that. That sounds too lovey-dovey. I'm over it. What's the book called? Twilight? What? Is it like Twilight Zone? No? Oh, okay. So, like, the audience. If you want someone to connect to your story, you got to find the right audience. And one of the best ways is go to Reddit, look up the genre your book is, because, right, if you're writing and you've already done it, one, you need to know what the genre is and the subgenre. So if you're doing a supernatural and you're like, oh, this is great, and you want to do subgenre, you're like, well, what kind of supernatural? Well, it's a young adult, like a romantic young adult. Like, oh, okay, we'll find that subgenre in that genre. And you'll be narrowing it down to find your audience. And those people, I guarantee you, will connect with your story. Regardless of anything, they will connect to your story because guess what? They're in the supernatural, romantic, young adult Reddit for a reason. And that's the best way. You can go try to find little author like writing groups and stuff. Like I said, hop in my Discord. I'm going to make little genre groups you guys can join and talk in, so you guys can find people in your genre to help you edit, help you know your stuff, right? Like if you give me something that's romantic and I got to edit this, well, I'm not really a romantic writer, but I'm romantic in real life. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can use that to help edit this book. But then if you give me some action sci-fi, hey, man, that's me. You give me horror or thriller or psychological thriller, man, hey, psychological thriller is my main writing. Like, bring it on, dude. I'll edit the crap out of it, man. So, again, for the question, what if no one connects with my story? There's always a target audience that will connect to your story. You just got to find them. And if no one's connected to your story, you just haven't found them yet. So don't give up. Keep on the grind. Go for the hunt and find these writing groups that are there. Go to Reddit. Look for your genre and subgenre for your writing. Put questions out there. Go to creative writing Reddit. Put in there, hey, is there anybody who's in this that might want to like talk to me about my story, or who want to read or something? You know what I mean? Put yourself out there. It's hard, right? But you got to punch fear in the face and just do it, right? Nike. Okay, so for that question, what if no one connects with my story? There is someone always out there that will connect. You just got to find the right group, okay? Never give up, never surrender, and you'll do it. Let's see. What if I write one story and it becomes something else? That's kind of like your story changing, like I was saying earlier. If you start one story and as you're writing, it changes and it becomes something else. That's just how every story is. Every story evolves. Every story changes. It's because of the character and how you are. And then as you go through edits, it'll change. But if you try to write without editing, I think it's one of the best ways to write, because you don't want to get locked down on each chapter right away. Just write. Let the story flow. Let it flow. Let it flow. Anyways, just let it flow. Let the story get put out there. And then once it's all done, you can go back and change it. You can do your own edits, have other people write it. But never fear if your story that you wrote starts becoming something else, because every story evolves, everything evolves. Even you as a writer, you're evolving. Guess what? You're leveling up. Either you're reading more things, you're watching my videos, watching other people's videos to learn about writing, whether that's getting literary devices, what are plots, character arcs, character story arcs, plot arcs, like whatever it is, you're always changing. So you're evolving too. So your story will evolve as well, because your writing will be more efficient. You'll be smarter and you'll learn more because you're mastering your skill. You're honing in on that skill of yours, that talent that you love and you want to pursue as your passion and dream. You're getting better at it by taking the time, watching this, reading other books, doing YouTube video, watching my YouTube video, you know what I mean? So what if I write one story and it becomes something else? Don't be afraid. That's how a lot of stories do. Don't, like I was saying earlier, don't have that iron grip. Like in Loki with the timelines, you just got to be looser, let them flow. Let it flow until the story's done. Then you can start editing, and then you can start narrowing it a little bit lower down to like the prime timeline, right? So don't be afraid of that. All right, next question on here. What do I do with my fear? What do I do with my fear? Well, you didn't say what your fear was. So I'm going to go off of what do I do with my fear. So don't let fear stop you, right? Like I just said, punch fear in the face. There's everybody gets critiqued. Everybody goes through all that stuff. Everybody has their ups and downs with writing, right? Writing is a roller coaster, okay? Writing is a roller coaster, and you got to be on it for the long haul no matter what. You just got to hang on. You got to take those loop-de-loos and twists and turns and going backwards. Like, that's how it's going to be. that's how every roller coaster is going to be. You're going to be like, oh, this story is great. This story is the worst. Why am I even writing it? Oh, I found out to fill out that plot hole. This is cool. Oh my God, I made more plot holes. Oh my God, what am I going to do now? And you're just going to, all these things that you're just like, what do I do? How do I fix it? Oh my God, this story sucks. Oh, this is a great idea. I love this story. I fixed it. Oh my God, I don't know how the bad guy should be. Oh my God, this is the best bad guy anybody's gonna see. You know, like you're gonna be on this roller coaster of emotion. It's an emotional roller coaster. Writing is an emotional roller coaster. So when you say, what do I do with my fear? I don't know what your fear is. You didn't say here, but with any fear, punch it in the face. Don't hold back and go full force into what you love. Right? Don't listen to other people. Do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. It's never too late. I'm on stage 32, and there's people who are 70 years old still writing and selling scripts to this day on there. And their stories are great when you get to talk to them on there. Man, it is amazing hearing their journey. So don't give up, right? Never give up. Never surrender. All right, so again, punch fear in the face. Push through it. Reach out to people who are your support, whether you have a significant other, whether you have parents, whether you have friends, whether you have writing groups. Like I said, hop in my Discord. Let's go find people. Let's go, let's go. Let's do this. All right, why do I struggle at the end? This one I actually have a lot because a lot of people always are like, I don't know how to end it. I'm not sure what to do. Like, but you just took a whole journey. Like, okay, what's the one that okay? Oh, what was it? Who was it that? Oh, Darth Vader. Perfect. Beautiful. Okay, so a lot of people are mad that Darth Vader died at the end. Like, oh, he just got electrocuted. Yeah, he got his hand cut off. He got electrocuted. He was part robot anyways. Like, why did he have to die at the end? Well, if you were George Lucas trying to write this story and you're struggling at the end, I get it. Like, well, do I want him to live so he can have his kids back and, he turned back to the good side? Or does the villain, because he was a villain for so many years, have to meet an end where he gets a heroic death? Just like Kylo Ren. Same thing. Evil, evil, evil. At the end, turns good, sacrifices himself, saves Rey. Perfect. But did you want to see him survive? Did you want them alive? Probably. But a lot of people struggle at the end because they don't know the plot strong enough or the character strong enough. And that's one of the two reasons I see a lot of people lacking is like, if you don't know your character, you won't know how they're going to act towards the end. Whether, I don't know what it is, whatever your story is. Let's use an action one. You get this guy who's gung-ho, pop, 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 pop. But then you're talking about how his wife died, his kids died, his parents died. He has no friends because they're all army guys and they also got killed. And so it's like there's nothing really to live for. So why not let him go out heroic, save somebody, and let them continue his legacy, whether it's putting a statue of him, whether it's them writing a book about him, whether it's posting him everywhere. You know what I mean? Like show him off and continue his legacy as him as a hero. Or he can survive and he can have like other people from way in the past that might reach out to him later on. And then, you know what I mean? But if you don't know your character, you don't know your plot yet, like, then you're going to struggle at the end because you should already know, okay, this is the beginning, middle, end. You got to make an outline of what you're writing, right? My favorite way to outline is the little bubbles, right? Where you go on there and you say, story name, you put characters, you put plot, you got theme, you got genre, right? So you start bubbling and then you start branching off from there, right? You get Dom as a character, Marcus. Sorry, I'm really into Gears of War again. I love that thing. Cole, Baird, right? So then you branch off like, okay, so you got characters, you branch off. So if you can outline your story and your plot, then, you should not have to really struggle at the end. I get it. Do you want your character to live? Do you want your character to die? Do you want the hero to finish the story? Do you want to make a sequel of it? Do you want to make it a trilogy? Like, okay, those are different questions. But again, every trilogy has to have a main thing end. So you got the biggest thing in Empire Strikes Back. Everybody's like, well, what was the main thing in Empire Strikes Back, right? There was no happy ending. Like, Han Solo got taken. Luke Skywalker got just riggedy wrecked by Darth Vader. Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi are like, don't go. And then the secret is told, and they're like, oh, he found out this is father. Like, but there's its own plot, which is Luke training, them trying to get help, right? Them trying to hide, right? A New Hope was he wants to join the rebel. He does. He becomes a hero. He destroys the Death Star. Then you got the second one where they take a major, huge ass blow, right? And then the third one, finally, he comes back and whoops ass and saves the day and revives his dad's, brings back Anakin Skywalker instead of Darth Vader, right? So there's got to be a reason. So yes, a lot of people do struggle at the end, as you asked here. But I say if you're struggling on your end, you really need to think about, okay, what is the plot? How does your characters act? And who the villain is and how would they act? Like, what's this epic ending, whether it's action or whether it's a romantic one? Does she hook up with him? Does she stay with him? Does she go back to her husband, who works hard but supports and shows his love in a different way, and this guy who just wants to keep on just, that's it. So you just got to figure out your characters and all that other stuff, because literally that's the only way you can figure out your ending. And you're struggling because you don't really know your story completely. You don't know your characters completely, and once you do that, everything should flow fine. When you go to sequels and prequels and all that other stuff, yeah, I get it, it's different, but you still shouldn't struggle at the end, because you can be like, okay, this could be a 3-parter. Well, your main plot of that story has to come to an end, even if you have other ones. Even if it's like, oh, we want to take down the Empire. That's the subplot throughout the whole thing. I guess that's the main plot, but it's a subplot, right? Each character has their own what they want, right? But the main thing is destroy the Empire, and that's what you get in the original trilogy of Star Wars until they finally do destroy it. So, next question I have here is, nope. Connect. Oh, okay. It says, what can you write that no one else can? So, we each have our own life experiences. Yes, some of them are the same, but they don't have the exact same thing. It's like, your life's like a fingerprint, right? It's never the same. Out of 1 billion something people on this earth, no one has the same fingerprints. And that's how everybody's life experience is. There may be similarities, but there's never exactly the same. And that's one thing you got to remember about the story, is that they're never exactly the same, only similarities. And when you go forward, it's just like you want to put your own voice into it. And the voice will be different in every story you write. You can have somebody make another Star Wars one, right? But the story will be different because it's someone else telling the story. It's from their point of view. It's there. Armageddon, right? I wrote a story about Armageddon. Just the same about meteors. But guess what? Mine was about somebody on Earth dealing with like, oh, let me try to save the day. Oh, let me try to do this. Oh, let me try to help people. So when you look at it in that aspect, then you realize like, oh, okay, well, I see here that yes, going forward that they are suffering, or oh yeah, I see that they are whatever, right? But it's your voice, right? So mine is Bruce Willis has a daughter, and her boyfriend's on the thing with him. Well, here I have it as hey, this guy is he wants to be a pilot, but he can't be a pilot because he has asthma. Guess what? I have asthma. I can never be a pilot because the oxygen's thin up there, and it's really hard to breathe, and I'd probably pass out. So I'll never be able to. But in my story is about one of the parts of the meteors that are falling down, that the big one that they're taking care of. Well, shoot, what about the other ones? Well, now he's there. And it's shooting them down, whatever, and then one big one gets past them, destroys like Ben Affleck and them up there, right? And then so now it's like, oh, what are we gonna do? Well, now it's up to him. So he gets in there. They have the space special like a fighter jet. He gets in there. He takes it up there. He's like about to pass out, like, and they're like, what the heck? Oh my God, why would we trust an asthmatic? He's just like, I got this. And he put the meteor's coming down, and he gets a spaceship, and he kind of like flies with it, and he kind of levels, tries to get down, and then all he knows is like, they're like, okay, once you get it above the ocean, whatever, where it won't do as much damage to a lot of other places except for the smaller islands, like then just get your ship and bail out. Well, guess what? It's hot. Meteors are hot. It seals them inside, right? And now he's just like, I can't I'm sealed shut. Like he's like, I can't even press the eject button. I'm stuck now. You know. So now it's just like, oh fudge. Like, what is he gonna do now? You know what I mean? So like, it's Armageddon, but it's in my own voice with my own experiences of an asthmatic who wants to be a pilot who can't do it. I wanted to be a pilot, but I can't do it because I'm an asthmatic. Okay, it's cool, whatever. I won't be able to ever fly a fighter jet. I'm too tall too. I'm 6 foot. I think they said to be a fighter jet pilot, you got to be short. So it's okay, but I have my own voice. So when you ask, what can you write that no one else can? That no one else can. It's you have your own voice. The stories can be similar, but you have your, own voice in every story that you write. Asthmatic pilot who will never be a pilot, but he can still be a hero without given an opportunity, and he does, right? So that is how you can write what no one else can write. You use your own life experiences to make a compelling story, and it might be like a Twilight, right? But guess what? Whatever life experience you have with love and romance could be different than her love and experience with romance, right? One person could be like, oh my God, I want to be called, dirty names. Well, it's like, well, you've never been called a dirty name in your life, so you think it's really great. But then when you go to someone who's been abused by their father, called different names by their father all this time, so they want to be treated like a princess. Hey, I want you to call me beautiful and gorgeous and this and that. I don't want to be called a dirty whatever, right? So it's different life experiences that changes the aspect of things that can change romance, right? You can be like, oh yeah, like my hair pulled. Well, guess what? Maybe for someone else, like I don't ever want my hair pulled because as growing up, my father would always grab me by the hair, throw me to the ground, and beat me. So like now when they want to show romance, it's like, oh please, like can you just not touch my hair, and whatever. So then it's a different love language for everybody, right? And that's exactly how it is. What can I write that no one else can write? It's your voice, your own experiences, and use that to make it your own voice, to show that no one else can write what you write because it's your own voice. I have a couple more things on here, but it doesn't look it's not really a generic thingy. They're kind of like walked in more about. So earlier I was talking about point of view. This person wrote here like, how can you choose your point of view? Honestly, I'm going to have more videos coming out about point of view on my channel. I think today, what is first person point of view came out today. Next week on Tuesday will be what is second, and then third person will come out on. I don't know if I put third person in one whole video, if I separate it into 3 videos, because there's 3 different third person point of views. So, but going on that aspect, I'd say watch my videos, but to hop into your question here, it really depends on you. Like, how do you want people to be invested into your story? Whether that's first person to root for your character, do you want them to only know one character? Do you want that person to be the person of the story? Do you want the reader to be the actual character, right? For second person, the you. So it really goes based on how you want your story to be written, in the sense of the narration of the story. That's what it comes down to. The point of views are the narration of the story. So third person narrator is not even in the story. The third person sitting out and just telling you events. Second person, the narrator is telling you, what did you do? You did this, you did that. And then first person's like, oh, the narrator is the person. So I went on this long journey and I did this. So whenever you look at point of view and here it says, how do I know which point of view? It's really based on how you want to tell your story. What are you trying to tell? What are you trying to point out from these point of views, right? Right now, second person point of view is one of the most difficult point of views to write, and I'm writing a story on it right now. I'm writing in the first person point of view, second person point of view. It's very difficult, but I feel like I like the challenge, because a lot of times you just want to say, you wander down the corridor when all the lights shut off and it's pitch black. You see yellow eyes further down staring at you. You do a 180 to sprint down the other way, but guess what? Another pair of yellow eyes come out. you don't know what to do. You know what I mean? So like it's a lot of you, and you don't want to start every sentence with you. So you got to be creative. And man, I'm telling you, man, if you guys want a challenge, write a short story in second person point of view. Email it to me, creativewritinglessons.vdm@gmail. I want to read it, man, because I'm writing a novel, but writing a short story is really fun. It's really hard, but it's one of the most challenging point of views to write in. And I really want to write a novel, and I'll have it on Amazon once I'm done. But oh my god, that's gonna be sick. So that was that question. Do you guys have any questions? Put them in the comments, please. Let me know. I'm just going off a list of questions that that people have emailed me, commented about for me. So I want to start trying to get off this. So why do I always struggle with the endings? Okay, we already went over that. Again, if you're struggling with the ending, it's because you don't fully understand your own plot or your characters to come up with an ending. Because as you're writing it, you should already know the plot and how everything's unfolding to lead you to the ending. And if you don't, then you need to really sit there and really think about it. Try to write a synopsis for it, which is just the summary of your entire novel, short story. Just write a synopsis of all of it. Write a log line to know if the story's good enough. Because if you can't write a log line, then you obviously can't come with a story, because you don't have a story if you can't come up with a log line. And again, a log line is just a sentence or two breakdown of your story, which gives you the central conflict, the protagonist, the antagonist, and then so you kind of understand, like, oh, you get the gist of the story within 2 sentences. Oh, this guy is this person who is trying to do this, but he's being attacked by this, and this is the bad guy, and this is the central conflict. You know what I mean? Like, so you kind of understand what it is. But if you can't come with a log line, then your story is not fully ready for you to start writing. So don't write it until you can come with at least a decent log line and synopsis. And again, a synopsis is just the breakdown of your entire novel. It's kind of like the summary, right? It's a summary of, like, let's say you have 13 chapters. Well, like, entire chapter you can maybe write about like 3 sentences about, and then just write the important facts while you go forward with that. Okay. Again, what do I do with my fear? Again, this person, I don't know. Thank you for that question again. I don't know what your fear is, but again, punch fear in the face and just go full force into it. Just know I'm always here to support you guys, no matter what you guys do, whatever you need help with. Don't be afraid to reach out to me. Fear is just a mental thing. Just break down fear and don't let it hold you back, because fear is just a manifestation of something that you don't need. It's just a manifestation in your head. Punch it in the face, knock it down. There's support all around you, whether you feel it or not. Come to my Discord, email me, hop on my videos, comment. Again, I got these questions were from other videos that people were asking me questions or commenting on other past videos, and I was like, you know what, let me talk about it instead of continue going in and writing more videos, because I want to help you guys. I want it to continue. So again, punch fear in the face. You have support no matter where you're at. Okay, I'm always here for you guys. What if nobody connects to your story? Again, if nobody connects to your story, there's always somebody out there who can connect to your story. There's always somebody there. You just haven't found the right audience, the target audience yet, and just keep looking. Again, on my Discord, we can make groups in there. I can go and put genres or whatever, and you guys can go find friends and other writing buddies there, make little groups. I want to start doing like a weekly thing, like, you know, weekly writing Wednesday, right? We can all write and stuff. So you can always find it. Go to Reddit, go to subgenres and genres, find somebody, and you're just not targeting or finding the right target audience yet for someone to connect your story. Okay, and this question here is the last one I have written here, so if you guys write it down, please. It says, okay. I'm going to go and say, okay, so this person asked, it's like a paragraph long, sorry guys. This person is asking, what if I want to publish my book, but, sorry, I don't know, the person said they're from Pakistan, so it's kind of hard to read, it's kind of like a little backwards. The generic question is, I want to publish my book, I don't know whether to do with an agent or do self-publishing. What do you recommend? Thank you for the question. That is hard. So right now with my mom and my family, we have a family book we're working on, and we've only been getting hybrid publishing. So I don't know if you guys know, but lately they've been doing hybrid publishing. So pretty much with hybrid publishing is that you need to fork out a some amount of money, give it to the agents. What they will do is make your book with that money and put them into stores, bigger stores for you. The the whenever you get money from it, you get paid first, right? Like majority of the money, like I don't remember that. I think it was like maybe it was a 70-30 cut or 80-20 cut. I can't really remember, but pretty much because you forked out the money, you're gonna get your money back paid through it, and then they'll just get a little bit of residuals because they didn't risk any money. They're just putting your books out there and they got it made. If nothing sells, they send you back all the books because it was your money, so they give you back the books and stuff like that. So they didn't really risk. It's less risk on the agent's part. We don't want to do hybrid publishing yet. We're really trying to push for an actual publisher. But if we can't, yes, we will probably pick up the hybrid publishing. We just got to save the money because they wanted like $8,000 up front to make this stuff, which is a lot of money and it's really difficult. And if you don't really have the money, dudes, there's always self-publishing. You can always hop. That's what I did. All right, let me see if I can. Excuse me. Let me see if I can pull up my book. Let's see. I'm gonna try to pull up my book so you guys can see it. It's called The Crystal of Destiny. Justin Vandermark. Can't even spell my own name right. No results. Okay. There I am. Okay, so let me switch the page real quick, guys, so I can show you. Oh, I never added it. I'm so sorry. Okay, so that's my book right here. It's called The Crystal of Destiny. Oh, what? It should be free on Kindle. Let me go fix that. I don't know why. I went in there to edit it, but so this is what the self-publishing looks like, right? You got your books here. This is my second book here. Yeah, see, this one says read for free with Kindle Unlimited. So I got to figure out why the other one isn't there, but for now, it's if you have Kindle. If you don't have Kindle Unlimited, then it's $2.99, and if you want to buy the paperback, it's $6.99. So yeah, this is the book. This is self-publishing. So what you do is you go to KDP and you make an account, and then you go in there, and then you have to kind of like, it'll say you can write in a Word document when you export it as PDF. You want to save it in like a 5x7 size. They do have their own editing, which I love. Amazon. So if you write your book and you copy and paste it and you put it into their program, it'll make chapters for you. It'll assort everything for you, and I think it's a great idea, especially in this time now where there's so many different people publishing, and I think self-publishing is a great way to go too. Again, with a lot of people that I've been researching, because I love to learn, that a lot of people, when they tend to go to to publish and stuff, their first books don't ever really blow up. It's only once later on when they start building up that portfolio that they start getting noticed. They start getting more things out there, and then Amazon sees it too. So as long as you're putting more content out there, it's like, oh well, this one has more content, we can start putting them on the top page and stuff like that. So I think self-publishing is a great idea. So again, to your question, sir from Pakistan, you want to go and don't know if you should get an agent or self-publish. Well, again, with an agent, you have hybrid publishing, with a lot of agents are trying to do right now, where you fork out all the money and then they just put your stuff into bookstores, Target, Barnes and Nobles, Walmart, just wherever they sell books, they'll put your books there for you, which is really cool. But again, like they wanted $8,000 from us, so it was a hefty number. It was definitely a hefty number to do it. But I want to say that if you're trying to find an agent and you're trying and you can't figure it out, you can always go the Amazon way. You can always go and self-publish it yourself. Share it with your friends, family. Make an Instagram page. Start marketing it that way. Put little quotes in there and stuff like that. Do something like that to get your book out there, to get them noticed more. And then, again, share with your friends and family. Those will be your number one fans always. And they'll probably be the first ones to buy your book and support you. And then, again, once you get more sales and on it, that shows Amazon, like, hey, like, books are being sold. This must be pretty good, offer people free, like mine here, right here, boom. Kindle Unlimited. It's free to read if you have Kindle. If you don't have Kindle Unlimited, $3 to read a book, right? The book is 33 pages long, and it's for 7 to 18 years. It's pretty much 7 years and up. I don't know why it's up to 18, but 7 and up. But it's a kid's book, and you can tell by the picture. I went to Fiverr to get this picture made. Again, it's really... I paid $5 for it, okay? So I knew I wasn't going to get the super duper the best. But again, I wanted it to be a little kiddish and fun and like, oh, wow, that's colorful. Like a kid can see them. Like, oh, that's really cool. That's in outer space, stars, Jupiter. There's a unicorn that's shooting out rainbows. There's a robot pigeon. And there's a girl with rhyming words on her dress. You know what I mean? So, like, I feel like there's so many options when it comes to publishing nowadays that you cannot let it hold you back. If you can't find a publisher, put it on there. Make a book series. This is going to be a 4-book, possibly more, book series coming forward. And hey, maybe somebody will end up finding your 6th book of your series and be like, oh my God, this is great. I need to find the other ones. And then they'll go back and start reading all your other ones. Or maybe somebody can do a quick little skip it on your channel, right? Or hey, find some book review people. I know there's tons of people on YouTube who review books, but hey, can I give you my book? You can read it and you can review it and put it on, do a book review on your channel. You get the book for free. Like, dude, that'd be great. Shoot, send me your book. I'll read it and I'll do my honest opinion of how I feel it takes, how I like it and stuff like that. So there's always options for self-publishing or just publishing in general, whether it's hybrid publishing, finding an agent to do a regular, original publishing, and then self-publishing. So don't let anything ever hold you back when it comes to doing your books. There should never be anything to hold you back from publishing and getting your work out there ever, whether that's reading it yourself and putting it on YouTube as a podcast or as an animated podcast. Get a bunch of people together and do like, hey, we're going to do a reading, watch us record us recording the Crystal of Destiny, and then, we get the webcam and then we switch webcams and different people reading it, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of good, fun stuff that you can do, and you should never let publishing stop you from publishing because of fear or because because lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge is the main reason why people don't get anywhere because of that lack of knowledge. Because I don't really know. Could I do this? How can I? And because of that lack of knowledge, there's that barrier that stops you, and you don't want that barrier to stop you, right? You want to continue going and continue to do it. So what did I do? I go and buy books. I bought another book here. It's called, nope, that's Gears of War. Here it is. I'm not the best with dialogue, so guess what I bought? Boom. I bought You Talking to Me? You Talking to Me? And for me, it helps with your dialogue. It helps you structure your dialogue better so you can be like, oh, okay, let me figure out how to... You're fine, buddy. You're fine. Sorry, it's a guinea pig here. So then you can do what you set your mind to. Don't ever let lack of knowledge stop you from achieving your goals, dreams, and passions. And that's what I did for many, 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 many years. Until just recently. If you get knocked down, don't let it keep you down, man. Just get back up. Do your best as you can to get back up. Take your time to heal or mend or meditate, whatever you need, but get back to it. Don't give up. You got this, okay? So you need to learn that. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to get some water because I'm a little dehydrated. I'll be right back. Hey guys, Justin Benner. My favorite ones here is Time. Hans Zimmer is probably by far my favorite to write to. We're writers, right? We have emotions. We don't like to show it until we hit the page. And then it's just like, Let it all on the page. Do the characters act the way the character's supposed to? Do they say what they're supposed to? And would they act that way, right? I have a great idea. I'm gonna write. And he's like, well, yeah, I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know. I'm like, oh, trust me. I have a great idea what to do with it.
Hey guys, Justin Venom
My favorite
here.
ones here is Time. Hans Zimmer is probably by far my favorite to write to. You know, we're writers, right? We have emotions. We don't like to show it until we hit the page, and then it's just like, let it all on the page. Do the characters act the way the character's supposed to? Do they say what they're supposed to? And would they act that way, right? I have a great idea. I'm gonna write. And he's like, well, yeah, I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know. I'm like, oh, trust me. I have a great idea what to do with it.
Hey guys, Justin Venom
My favorite
here.
ones here is Time. Hans Zimmer is probably by far my favorite to write to. You know, we're writers, right? We have emotions. We don't like to show it until we hit the page, and then it's just like, let it all on the page. Do the characters act the way the character's supposed to? Do they say what they're supposed to? And would they act that way, right? I have a great idea. I'm gonna write. And he's like, well, yeah, I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know. I'm like, oh, trust me. I have a great idea what to do with it.
Hey guys, Justin Venom
My favorite
here.
ones here is Time. Hans Zimmer is probably by far my favorite to write to. You know, we're writers, right? We have emotions. We don't like to show it until we hit the page, and then it's just like, let it all on the page. Do the characters act the way the character's supposed to? Do they say what they're supposed to? And would they act that way, right? I have a great idea. I'm gonna. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I have returned. Sorry, I am parched. I've been sick for like over a week. I have a itchy throat still, but I had these questions that people asked, and I really just wanted to teach it and just answer some of these questions, because I mean, that's what I'm here for, creative writing lessons. I'm here to help teach and stuff like that. How do you guys like my shirt? My brother Tanner had it made for me, this logo, and then I just added to a shirt. It says, I hope, what did I say? I teach beginning writers how to write a successful story. All right, so again, that was all the questions I had on here that, oh, you can't even see it, that people asked me. So if you guys are getting great value, please don't forget to hit that like button down below, and then comment below what was your aha moment, like, oh, you know, what's that oh moment. Comment down below. Let me know what your your little like oh moment or your aha. Oh yeah. Let me know what we've been talking about. If anything resonated with you, you know, whether that was what can I do? What can I write that no one else can? How can you change people in your stories? Right? How can you change people in your stories? What do I do with my fear? What if no one connects to my story? Why do I struggle at the end? What if I write something? Excuse me. What if I write one story and it becomes something else? And again, I want to publish my story, but I don't know if I should do publishing or self-publishing. If you guys had any other questions besides those ones, those are what I have right now. And hopefully you guys love the answers. It was just one of those things for me that I have had a lot of people have been asking me that lately. So I wanted to make sure I actually answered the question, right, that you guys needed. And again, this is my author page right here. Again, I only have 2 books on here. These are my 2 books right there. Hopefully you guys can see it. I can't really see my screen. So yeah, I have The Crystal of Destinies. Book 1. Book 2 is The Eye of the Universe. Book 3 is currently being edited by my mother, which is right here, Christina Patron. I don't see her name here, but she edits my stuff for me. And so she's editing right now, and then I'm writing the 4th book. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, please, again, comment that below. Hit that heart button. Show me some love. If you guys got any great, valuable information from this content here. I just want to try to help you guys, succeed with writing and surpass me. Like I want somebody publish 3 books before me. I dare y'all publish 3 books to me. If you guys want to answer this question below or email it to me, I want to know, why do you guys write? Why do you guys write? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Why do you guys write? The reason why I write originally was to help me escape from reality. It was a way to process everything that was going around in a way that my mind could understand it, could help myself understand it better, and it gives me an escape from reality. But now I do it because I want to help people enjoy and escape reality the way I did back when I was a kid. X-Men Codename Wolverine by Christopher Golden still to me will be a book that I will cherish for the rest of my life in my heart, because as a kid I read that book in like a day. My mom got it for me, I believe at the library. I read it, and then when I had to go back to my dad's house, I read it there. I laid on the couch, and everybody's like, "You're reading?" Like, I was like, "Heck yeah, man! I love reading," But like, I was so used to playing games there. But when you find that book, man, you find it. And that book first introduced me to doing flashbacks. To like, chapter 1 is write this. Chapter 2 is a flashback into how they got to that moment. Like, And again, you want to utilize the correct form of a flashback. You don't want to throw them in there just because you want to throw them in there. You need a reason to throw flashbacks in there. If you guys want to know good flashbacks and not have to like sit and read a book if you don't have time reading a book, watch The Arrow, or watch Arrow, the CW Arrow. Watch just the first episode. Watch the first season. They are probably one of the best flashbacks I've seen, because all the information you learn helps push the story forward, right? Every flashback you need has to push the story forward. And I want to say for them, by far, are probably like the best ones that I've seen and I've watched for flashbacks that are good. Supernatural also does it, but Supernatural for me does the best with parallelism and foreshadowing. Granted, the foreshadowing is way later, but you can see the foreshadowing from episode 1 to other episodes of where they're saying like, Sammy, you're going to grow up, you're going to have a family, kids, you're going to be chugging Viagra, and living a life. Me, I'm going to die with a blade in my hand, or a gun, or a blade in my hand. Like, that's just my life. And again, foreshadowing, spoilers, but it's been out since 2019. But spoilers, guess what? He dies with a blade in his hand, a gun in his hand. Spoiler, he ended up having kids, and he named it after his brother who died. And you get all of this through different literary devices, through reading and writing, but you gotta master it. And to master it, you gotta read the best, watch the best, and learn from it. I watched The Arrow and Supernatural so many times. I'm like, these are so great, but what makes it so great? Well, guess what? I'm sitting there with a freaking paper and pen, and I take notes. I watch it to enjoy it, and then afterwards, I still watch and enjoy it, but I take notes on like, ooh, why is this episode hitting so good? Well, let me break it down, and then so after you watch something and you really like it, there's a reason why you like it, and you want to write that story. You want to turn it into something. You got to figure that out, and you got to start from the basics of, okay, how do I do this? How do I do that? Where can I learn to master this? Come to my channel. I like to talk about different types of things, whether it's books, movies, different things you can watch and learn. Whether you're a script writer, short story, and even a novel. I'm working on a novel now, and even if that, here, you know what? Before I forget, let me show you my second person point of view story. See what you guys like and what you say. Here it is. Google Drive. Sorry, I had a brain fart. That is going to be underwear. I think it's a good question. I think I put it underneath Fiverr. Buzz and Buzzard, Super Pets, Fusion, Reflection. No, it's not under Fiverr. Maybe it's Etsy then. Sorry, I have a lot of stuff I write on here, guys. I don't know what happened to it. Your Secret. Ha ha! Kobe. All right, switching it over. What the hell is this? There you go. So, this is the story that I'm working on. How do you zoom in? Do you guys know how to zoom in on this thing? Oh, here it is. Okay, so this is the story, and I'll read the beginning part to you guys and see what you think. Chapter 1's called The Mystery. You've done this before. The pitch black sky has a full moon within. The stars light up the barren streets. You're kneeling down looking at a puddle of water and blood. Shivers run down your spine as you look all around. That feeling haunts you again, like eyes are upon you. This case leads from one dead end to another. Being a detective means you only get to see the aftermath of a crime, never getting to prevent it. But after your love was taken from you, this became your calling. To find the person or thing that murdered them. Yes, creature or thing. You were there when it happened. Saw the bright yellow-red eyes staring back at you when you walked in on it, eating what was left of the love of your life. Besides those eyes, all you saw was the speed at which it fled. But you still wonder why it didn't kill you that night. You stand from the bloody puddle and walk down the alley. A brisk breeze brushes through the long black trench coat, pushing it back to reveal your sidearm tucked into your shoulder holster. On the other side of the holster are your extra magazines. A glimmer of light upon the rooftop catches your attention. You quickly plot out a path up the fire escape ladder, on the ledge of the windowsill, and then from the satellite dish to grip the edge of the rooftop. Once the path is in your mind, you execute. As you complete the swing from the satellite to the edge, it breaks. You manage to use your fingertips to catch the edge. You grip the edge and pull yourself up to safety. You roll your feet, drawing your weapon. Step by step, you carefully clear the rooftop. Nothing. Your keen hearing picks up the subtle sounds of inhaling and exhaling. A warm breath scatters across the back of your neck. Without hesitation, you spin kick. Again. Nothing. The speed. It must be that thing. Those thoughts echo in your mind. These thoughts betray you, distract you. Whatever this thing is knocks you back to the edge of the roof. You're balancing on your toes. Another gust of wind hits you. It pummels you backwards. You plummet down, trying to grab anything you can. Your legs hit the fire escape railing, forcing you into a spin. You shut your eyes, preparing for the brutal impact. There is no hard impact. You gracefully set down onto the wet, cold asphalt. Opening your eyes, you don't see anything around you. No creature, no person, nothing. You wonder what or who saved you. The pain in your legs grow. You limp out of the alley, never looking back. You know whatever was there is now long gone. That's how all those crime scenes end. So yeah, so that's the beginning of the you point of view. And as you can tell, I used some alliteration in there, right here. Brisk breeze brushes, right? Alliteration, the play on the sound, giving that nice little rhythm. So, I mean, I feel like it's fairly, I mean, shoot, reading it again, I really am like, gosh, I wrote that shit? Maybe I'm more talented than I thought. But anyways, once more, guys, in the comments below, whether you're live, whether you're watching this video afterwards, message down below, why do you guys write? I want to make a video with any questions again. If you have any questions, I want to talk about why people write, ask some questions, hop on here, whatever it is. So, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow my channel. I will give out more videos like this. We will continue talking about stuff to make you write a successful story. Thank you again. I love you 3000. May the force be with you. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Stay tuned. Check out my other videos. Enjoy. Let's learn. Let's be creative. Go to my Discord. Let's start a community. Let's get work done. May the force be with you. Always. And my comic book characters, my little short story I wrote for them here. They're going to be on tumblers and shirts. The way they transition from scenes is they put that white gap. So what would this person do? They woke up in blood, wash it off. World building definitely is hard, depend on what genre you're in. And my comic book characters, my little short story I wrote for them here, they're going to be on tumblers and shirts. The way they transition from scenes is they put that white gap. So what would this person do? They woke up in blood, wash it off. World building definitely is hard, depend on what genre you're in. And my